Hi, my name's Oliver, and I'm here to teach you a super simple science that you can use to completely cure your codependency. This is something that has helped me tremendously in my life, and I'm so excited for you to learn it, and not just learn it, but start applying it immediately, just like that. Let's get into it. So I got a little diagram right here. What we have is these are neurons. So this is a connection in your brain. All right, this is how your brain works. Firstly, you have a trigger. You have something in your past that is being triggered. So let's say you received messages of being called stupid growing up. So later on, let's say 20 years down the line, somebody calls you stupid. Ooh, that just makes you feel some type of way, doesn't it? It feels just that triggered feeling inside. So that's the trigger. This area right here, that's the connection. So you get triggered, it fires off, it goes right into the story. Now, your story can be a number of things, but if we're talking about codependency here, that means there is a negative story about who you are that is not serving you. This is the story that's causing your toxic relationship patterns, and that's what we want to get rid of, and I'll show you how. So this is you right now, okay? You got a trigger, you got this fat connection because it's a deep groove. It's been thought of many times. And then story, this is like, oh, I guess I am stupid. Like, oh, these people are right. Like, oh, I'm blah, blah, blah. Just negative downward spiral. So what we want to do is we want to cut right through this. And this is how. When you interrupt this pattern in the middle of it, it will create a new pathway. Get this, a new pathway to a new neuron. And this could be something positive. So let's say somebody calls you stupid and it triggers you and you're like, oh, and your story starts to go, and all of a sudden in the middle of your story, something crazy happens. Let's say this person was, doesn't have to be crazy, but just something radically different. Like you thought this person was being serious and then it was like, just kidding. And so it breaks your pattern. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have to go through the story because, they were just kidding. Or let's say they were serious, but something crazy happens. Like all of a sudden, like a white squirrel, albino squirrel just jumps on somebody and it's just like, whoa, what the heck? So that'll break your pattern. That'll create a new association. You'll notice both of those scenarios, if they were just kidding or that crazy albino squirrel just came, those are funny, positive interruptions, right? That's why there's a positive here. So when that happens, this creates, boom, this is called a pattern interrupt. If you've got paper and pen, write this down. This is huge. So pattern interrupt. This is the key to changing the stories that you tell yourself, changing your perception of who you are, and using science to finally get rid of your codependency. So when we have this pattern interrupt, that's good because now we're not thinking this negative story. We got a positive thing. Now you see this connection is still a lot fatter than this one. This one's very new. It's not used as many times. So what we want to do is we want to strengthen this one and weaken that one. Follow? Okay, so over time, we want to keep doing this pattern interrupt so that over time, it starts to look more like this. Negative star. And then, so boom, it's skinny now. But now you look over here, this one is bigger now. See, this one's bigger because you keep doing the pattern interrupt over time. Now, this negative story is still here. It's just, it comes up a lot less because the connection isn't as strong. Your neurons aren't firing as much energy to this negative story as often. So you actually start to feel better. You start to not dwell in the past so much. You don't beat yourself up and you don't find these toxic patterns of people pleasing and, just really giving yourself away all the time. So once we go here, we want to keep this going until eventually over time, this negative pattern, it's either just a string or it's completely gone. And then you just have this new positive thing. So every time, right, this is the trigger, remember. So every time you are called stupid, you get a positive reaction. It makes you laugh. It makes you feel good. Imagine that. Imagine if every time somebody insulted you, it made you feel positive, made you laugh. Now, how much easier would life be? And you wouldn't care so much about what other people thought of you because no matter what they thought of you, it made you happy. You were good either way. So that's how we use science to radically change who you are. And I'm so excited for you to apply this. And if you're interested in learning more about pattern interrupts, then type so in the comments and I can go into more detail. This is something I'm super passionate about. I love it. It's gotten me so much results in helping me cure my own codependency, and I want to do the same for you. So thank you for watching. Peace.